What's going on, guys? How's everybody doing today? Hope everyone's having a good Friday. Commute home. Maybe you're already home. Maybe you left early. But hello, everybody. Hope everyone's doing all right. Let me know if you get the notification. We're doing some more Friday night talk show, I guess. This is what this is now. Alice. Hey, Alice. How you doing? You're always here, Alice. Are you on your phone? Makoto, what's up, man? Let me know if the music's too loud. Shouldn't be. Goovin, how's it going, man? Back at it again. Well, I don't really have... I don't want to make an excuse. I'm probably going to go do this live stream and go to the gym and then come back start writing a video. Apparently, every time I script out my videos, they do a lot better than when I don't. But I've been trying to avoid doing that because I want to be a better, vlogger, I guess. I want to be better at talking to the camera, but I'm not good at it on the fly, so I've been forcing myself to do it. J. Adrian, what up? Gates Redesign, new subs up, man. How's it going, man? Welcome aboard. Wes Braga, how's it going? Let me know if you got any questions. By the way, hi from Belgium. Hey, man. Hey from Salt Lake City. There's the number there. You can call. There's US, Canada, and the UK. And if you're in a different country and want to call, tell me so I could put that country code. Is it free to call? Yes, but you have to be in one of these countries for it to work. And then you put the meeting ID. It brings you into my meeting, and then I unmute you, and then I can answer your questions. But if you're not one of those three countries, you gotta tell me. Toma, what's good, bruh? What's good? Zephyr, how's it going? Juan, hello. Soul Encoded, hello. How's it going? How's your guys' Friday night? Got big plans for the weekend? Let me know if none of the codes work so that I can, so we can just call you. Well, you have to call one of these numbers, US, Canada, or UK. Studying Cobra. Awesome to see these live feeds on the daily. I didn't get one yesterday. I spent so long editing that video. Meeting ID. Gotta study, eat, sleep. Do you have a landline? These are all Zoom meeting numbers. I don't have a landline. Harry, it's been so long. Do you remember me? You're back from holiday. I do, dude. Welcome back. B. Dolomite, how's it going? I'm gonna post this to my Discord, I suppose. You guys can drop questions. If you don't want to call, just feel free to drop questions. I'm here to answer. I'm here to help. Whatever you guys want to know. I'll do my best. Is it okay to write front-end dev in your resume if you're a junior front-end dev? I mean, if that's what you do, that's what I would put. You gotta put what you do. Posting this to my... What do you think of the new thumbnail? I tried to get creative and it didn't really... I was like, let's just do black and white background and I'll be in color like an Instagram girl. I don't know if it came out the way I thought. How important is math to learn coding? Depends which kind of coding. Time you go to the gym? Different times. This morning I had a bunch of students to teach and some meetings I had to do, so I couldn't go. Bro, do you have a Discord group? I sure do. It's in the description. Reactor View, what do you prefer? What do I prefer? Whatever gets the job done. What has the most jobs? React. Let me make sure nobody in the call. Oh, we got someone in the call. One moment. Let's bring down the music a little bit. How's it going? I'm good, man. How's it going? How can I help?
I'm good. Actually, I'm a software engineering student coming from UK.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm interested in web development, full stack web development, and I'm struggling to find internships for, getting some experience in this field.
Okay, so the problem seems... Well, I don't know if it's a problem. I'm going to assume that you only apply to internships in entry-level and junior positions?
Yes, I did apply only to junior level positions.
Yeah, this is why. This is why you're limiting yourself to the pool of applications, to the pool of jobs that are out there. Just because the job doesn't have the title junior on it doesn't mean the job isn't junior or could be junior. I'm gonna give you an example. When I worked at my React job, they were torn between hiring a senior developer and 3 junior devs, and so they decided to hire 3 junior devs instead. But the posting was for a senior dev, and of course I applied to that, and that's what happened.
Mm-hmm.
So forget titles. Applied it just one word, software, and applied everything that comes up, and then software developer and everything that comes up.
Perfect. That sounds great. And how should I be looking in startups or corporations? How do you see it?
That's your call. I don't know if you watched my video yesterday, but I'm not a huge fan of corporations.
Okay.
I would go with startup because I like the flexibility. Yeah, it's a risk because you might not have a job the next day because of the less money, but you get more flexibility and you get a better opportunity to wear more hats. Like when I was at a startup, I would ask the marketing people what they do. I'd ask the CEO what he does. What's the business like? What's it like to talk with millionaire investors and sit down with lunch and just casually talk about how you're going to get another $3 million for your company? Like, I like startups because you can wear lots of different hats. You can go corporate and you can study something really deep and really niche, and that'll be what you do all day. So it depends on what you want to do. Also, they tend to be a little bit more safe and secure, but less movement, less flexibility, less thinking outside the box.
Right.
I don't know. Does that help?
Yeah, of course. Because I'm willing to learn, so I think I'm gonna move to the startups. So
That's what I'd recommend. You get a more well-rounded kind of on-the-job experience, and you get that hustle because corporations, they have budgets too, but startups have a budget that it's more like a pool of money that's slowly depleting. It's like a retirement fund for older people. They save a bunch of money, and then they try to basically not die before that money runs out. And it's similar to a startup. That's a really bad analogy. But similar to a startup, like they have a bunch of money and they try not to die before the money runs out. Yeah. Yep.
Perfect. Man, it was great talking to you. Thank you very much for taking the call.
Yeah, man. Thanks for calling. Thanks for having the guts to do it. No one else did it, so you're the first one today. I hope you have a good weekend, man. I don't know your name. What was your name?
Manjila.
You know, I'm not gonna try because I know I'm gonna mess it up. But I'm just gonna say, have a great weekend, man.
Thank you, bro. Thank you
All right,
very
man.
much.
I'll see you later.
See you. Bye.
All right. Let's see. I'll unlock this so another person can join. And then, really inspiring. Best of luck with your YouTube journey. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. Which projects have you done with React? Oh, what's up? We got another person. Okay, I'm going to lock it 1 second. I'm going to answer some questions in chat. And then I will, we can have a little convo here. Send an email about a collaboration. Any chance you saw it? Maybe. What was the email? What fundamentals do you need to know for beginning on programming? Fundamentals, object-oriented stuff. But how fundamental do you want to get? Like binary fundamental, like on-off, if-else? What are you specifically looking for? How often do you implement recursion in your code? Just depends. Yeah, it just depends. I was going to try and think of an example, but I really don't know. I don't ever think I have like a moment where I'm like, this would be a good use case of recursion. It's more of like, why is this not working? Didn't hear when you answered your question. Can you repeat it one more time? What? I might have missed it. You said hi. Oh, how important is math? It's not very important unless you want to do like machine learning and stuff like that. For web dev, not that much. Raheem is in chat. I'll unmute in a second. I'm just going to answer a couple questions. Dev Mountain or Lambda School? Lambda School. If you're going to put it side by side like that, Lambda School has an income share agreement, has a guarantee, is 7.5 months long, teaches computer science fundamentals. Dev Mountain has no degree, is 3 months long, costs roughly this $5,000 less, but is less, but is, less than half the amount of time. I don't know. I'm going to say Lambda School, hands down. Am I a little bit laggy a little bit? Let me see. What do you think of Node as a backend? You're starting to see it? I mean, it's good, right? You just get to keep one programming language. How do you find the motivation to continue a personal project that is a bit outside of your knowledge base? Snow, this is a good problem to have, because if you're working on something that you already know how to complete, you're not really gaining a whole lot. Whereas if you're working on something that has a gap, this gap right here, right, is outside of your knowledge level. So this is the learning gap. When you do something that you already know how to do, you guys have heard of this state that's called like flow state. This is when you can get into flow state. Anything outside of like this typically is gonna suck while you close this gap, and then you're gonna understand it and you're gonna be able to flow. But how do you stay motivated? You don't stay motivated, you don't get motivated. This is how it works. The typical interpretation of this is what happens to do something. You get motivated, or you become inspired by watching something, then you get motivated, and then you go do something. When in reality, it's you have to go do something, and then you become inspired by whatever it is that you're doing, and then you're motivated. It's just totally backwards. Okay. C++ is a first language? No. How many projects front end should you have a portfolio? 3. Can I work for you? Any jobs? I don't have any jobs. What's special about React? Single page app. Do you think building websites as a developer is a dying industry? No. Which programming languages would you recommend? JavaScript, Python. Is Lambda School accept to another country without USA? Yeah, you can be in the EU and you can be in the US, and then soon they're going to be opening Canada. Maybe. Internal motivation. Motivation is fleeting, so you shouldn't chase motivation. You shouldn't look for motivation. When people sit around and wait to feel like doing something, that happens once in a blue moon. And occasionally you feel like doing something, but a majority of the time you don't feel like doing it. Marketing POS software? You mean like, what do you mean POS? TBC Bootcamp grad, currently senior software. Capital One would love to collab. Maybe. I don't remember. That's a really long title. What are your thoughts about game dev and computer graphics programming? I don't have any experience with computer graphics programming. Game dev has a future, though. Let me unmute Raheem here. We'll answer his question. Then I'll come back to chat. Raheem, sorry about making you wait so long, my man. Welcome aboard.
Oh, that's okay. I was going to say, thanks for all your advice. I actually watched all the videos on YouTube.
Thanks,
and
man.
I got my first software dev job today, and I just want to say thanks, man. I really appreciate it, okay?
Dude, you put in the work, bro. Like, what? How was it? How'd it go? How'd it go down? I'm sure people in the chat would love to hear your interview experience.
Well, it was... I was really glad that they didn't actually ask me to write any code on a whiteboard, like a lot of persons always say, but they just asked me what are the basics. JavaScript, they just wanted to make sure I got just the basic understanding of how it works, see if I can,
Mm-hmm.
And they actually gave me a scenario to do. It's like application timesheet, just accept input and you display the results. You do a calculation of the time, and they asked me to actually implement it. A front end, I did that in React, and I also did the back end in Python. Well, actually Flask RESTful, and it was kind of difficult, but I mastered it. I'm gonna say thank you, okay? Thanks for everything.
Yeah, man. Congratulations. Everyone in the chat, if you could go ahead and give Raheem some congratulations. It's awesome, dude. I bet that's a great way to start your weekend.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Have
man.
a great day, okay?
Yeah, dude. You too.
All right.
See you later, man. All right. So unlock the meeting again. Meeting is now unlocked. Someone is blowing me up on Slack, so I'm gonna mute the Slack. All right. Dude, congrats, Raheem. For real. He's doing it. I missed some questions. How do you deal with distractions like gaming and YouTube when you need to work at home? What's more valuable to me? Basically, I have a bunch of bills to pay, and if I don't make content, I don't get to pay those bills. That's how that works. Occasionally, I'll play video games at night if I know I've done all my work, or if I just have no creative energy left. How do I deal with distractions? I flip my phone over. My phone is the origin of distractions. Every time it beeps, buzzes, vibrates, whatever, I'm like, oh, my brain is just like, oh, what was that? Even if it's just some garbage email. So like I have to flip it over, put it on silent so it doesn't move, and then just like close my door and put music on. Hello, comrade. How's it going, man? First job in Portland, Oregon. No experience. Where to start looking? Indeed is good. Indeed's a good place for that. Stack Overflow would be good too. Took your advice. Got your first software job the other day. Oh, that was you, Raheem. You're in the chat. Congrats, man. Would you explain what SEO is for beginners? SEO is good copy content. SEO, search engine optimization, boils down to your ability to write good content for your web pages, to write good call to actions, to use very engaging words, to ask readers questions. That's SEO. It just boils down to, obviously, like, does your page load fast, stuff like that, but is the content good? Is the copy good? Like, if you go on Fiverr and try to hire someone, as I was thinking about this, I was like, I should get someone to like fill in the content for my grindreel.com, like review these sites, because I don't have time to sit here and type this all up, but it needs to be done so people can read it. So I went on Fiverr to look, and it was like $100 for like 200 words. Can you be hired as a 40-year-old junior developer? Of course you can. But Patrick, I don't think you're 40. So to be a CS graduate, embarrassed to say algorithms and data structure is your weakest area. How hard was the technical interview? It's my weakest area too. Still my weakest area to this day. I'm not the greatest at it. You can go watch like my Pramp interviews. They're pretty bad. It depends on what job you apply to. If you're going to apply to like a Java job or Facebook or Amazon or any of those big companies, they're going to ask you algorithms, even if that's not what you do at work. Do you need stock music for YouTube? I have some stock music, but I'm limited to Epidemic Sound, whatever they have at the time. German Crew says, I love you. I love you too, man. Do you ever get into CSGO? That's your origin for distractions. No, I can't play CSGO. Mainly because I can't aim, so I think that helps. I mean, I can't aim in CSGO. Like, my bullets don't go where I shoot. And everyone's like, well, you have to stop moving. Got to stop strafing. And then you got to shoot. Like, I don't know. What do you think as a chemist that doesn't have any related experience, just GitHub project, can find a software developer job? It's going to be rough. It's going to be hard. Using Bootstrap as a new dev can be a bad decision. Is it better to focus on CSS? Bootstrap's good. I would look at Material UI. They're going to ask you about Material UI, and if they don't, you can bring it to them, and that ups your game in the interview. Just got promoted to software engineer at work. You were a forklift driver. Dude, you got this. Hooligan Soft says, I missed this question. He said, congrats. I don't see... Okay, here we go. He sent an email to review the portfolio. Can you let me know if you'll do it? Yeah, I'll do it. If I want to ever play some games, let me know. Will do. How do I do that? Hey, bro, you're a junior dev from Brazil. Would you review a portfolio? Yeah, send it over. Did you woke up, didn't go to work because your phone died, watched the video sitting there feeling exactly like you did, and you were thinking what to do? Yeah, I mean, I sat like that for like 3 months. It wasn't like a whole day that happened. It was like a 3-month period when I went to work, and I was just like, I don't have to be here, but I'm too afraid to quit. Am I missing questions? Why smile? I don't, what? Should you practice building an e-commerce website or a social media website? Social media is alright. You can build whatever you want. Are they going to be static? Love the content. Irving says, love the content. It's genuine and honest. Became a fan of the work after watching one video. And you call BS on a lot of stuff that you watch. How can you send the portfolio? Just my email down there in the description. You'll DM me on Discord. Yeah, dude, do it up. DM me. By the way, that number here. This number on the corner of the screen, you can call. And then it's unlocked. So if you call, I'll answer and we can talk. Maybe I have too many bills. I'm just trying to live. You're 46, starting with HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, starting JavaScript today. Awesome, man. Tech, what's up, man? You like listening to these as you develop? Christopher, welcome aboard. How long did it take for you to get comfortable with CodeLogic? Sometimes it's still a little bit difficult if there's multiple pages connected to each other and there's a function and there's like imports and exports and I'm like, wait, where's this thing coming from? And I have to like, but that just comes down to like, the majority of my confusion usually stems from learning the environment that I'm in, where the files are, how it's laid out, etc. Dank, I see that you messaged me on Discord. Thanks for the videos and information. Yeah, man, I hope they help. That's what it's all about. It's so weird. I'm in this weird dichotomy of like, I may not want to work a dev job, but I'll help other people get dev jobs. And so people are like, really, Josh? And it's not like that. It's just, it's more, it's a, you know, I said in the video, right? It's more, it's just like a tool in the toolbox, but like, it's the whole, I don't know. You guys get it. Would you recommend a remote job as the first job for a junior dev? Yeah, I mean, of course I recommend remote. I wouldn't go into a cubicle. It's going to be rough, though. You're competing with people inside of a cubicle or inside remote. Experienced people already, and they want remote. And you have no experience, and you want remote. So you got to do stuff outside that box. You got to send in video resumes. You got to message the CEO of the company telling him how good his blog is. Like, stuff like that. Curves. Okay, so someone else messaged me. Love the video I released today. Thanks, man. Impressive yet simple applications to get started practicing with HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Impressive yet simple. I'd say the impressive part's going to come down. Oh, we have a few people in the chat. I'm sorry for making you guys wait. I will get to you in a second. Impressive and simple is a little bit hard to balance. Impressive, I would say styling is going to come from those three technologies, but JavaScript can do backend, right? So it depends on how deep you want to go with JavaScript. What else did I miss? Coding music or coding game? What? Coding game, maybe? Game has a rep for difficult job. How true is that? It's pretty true. I mean, I applied to be a front-end developer for Epic Games, and I applied to be a game developer for Epic Games, and I applied to be a front-end developer for Unity, and I applied to be a developer at Unity, and they all told me no. Actually, they just ghosted me, which is the same thing. Do all entry-level programming jobs with 1 to 2 year contracts? Negative. Real name or nickname on resume if you're applying to remote jobs? Just put your real name, dude. They're not going to hunt you down. You want their money. They don't want what you have. It's okay. Put your name. For a remote job, you should have at least 3 years experience in the office. That's not true. My first job, I negotiated remote because I was like, no, bad. It'll save you money. It'll save you snack money. I don't know. Okay, all right. I'm going to unmute some people, and I will come back. Welcome aboard. How's it going, man?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good, dude. How's your Friday?
Oh, not so bad, not so bad.
How can I help?
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you for spending time with us, advising us and letting us see the other side. So I wanted to know how old you think is too old to start web developing?
You mean as a career?
Yeah.
How old is too old? I'm not going to deny that ageism exists. However, there are ways around that, and they can't hire you. They can't not hire you based on age. That's like, well, I don't know where you're at, but in the U.S., it's discrimination, specifically that one. And if you can get to the stages of interviews without him having to see you if you're older, and they can recognize that you're older, you just want an age. Okay, let me answer your question before I swerve. Probably like. Depends on how big the company is, but I would say like when you start getting towards the 60s, they don't want to hire you and train you on software for a few years just for you to retire.
Okay. But like 35, I don't think the whole thing is that when I go to places where they're having like React stuff and like they're get together and stuff, and I see all these young people in their 20s, and I'm like, I feel like I'm the oldest one there. Like I feel like I don't belong there. Is it the same thing when you start working in a company?
Okay, so I'm not from like a programming background. I came from mechanical engineering, and these people, when I first got to my first job, these people were like nerding out on how fast their code was compiling, and I really even understand what that meant, and I couldn't get excited about it. It was pretty difficult. So to answer your question, yes, it's pretty normal to feel pretty out of place, especially if you're coming in with a background that's very different than programming. But in regards to age, I wouldn't worry about it. It's just, like you have other life skills, you have other life experience that you can draw on. Like these, I don't know, like you know what you want, right? I would say a lot of younger people haven't quite figured out what they want. They've just happened to find themselves as a programmer making good money doing something. But in terms of like life skills and stuff, I don't know. Does this help?
No, it does help. Thank you very much, and thanks for everything.
Are you sure, man?
Have a good night.
All right, man. See you later. My dogs are freaking out. Hold on. Hold on. My dogs are just losing their mind. You could hear them like jumping on the window in the back. But they're gonna bust down my window one day. Okay, so I will talk to the other person, then I will come back to some more questions in the chat. I'll get them all. How's it going, man?
Hello?
Yeah, dude. How's it going?
Hey, yeah, things are going fine. I'm calling from the UK. First of all, I'd like to just thank you because, I've just been, the equivalent of what's basically high school in the UK. Just because of some family issues, I didn't do well in that. But then I found channels like yours, Steph Mistrix. I found that. And through just listening to you guys and just taking on your advice, I'm doing free work right now. For one of my friends' mothers set up some medical company, and I'm doing full stack web development for them right now.
Mm-hmm. You said that you're doing it for free?
It's right now it's for free, but in a few days after it gets to some medical board, I'll start working for them paid part-time. But since this is my first thing, I kind of get into some problems after coding something, I don't know how to explain it. How things don't always work out, and then you try to remake it, and then when it finally does work out, you feel kind of I don't know what's the correct term, burned out. Do you have any advice on how to avoid that?
You don't want to avoid that, dude. You want to work through that. The more comfortable you get with that feeling, the better. I would say trying to avoid it would be trying to avoid learning stuff. And I mean challenging yourself. What happens okay, I'll give you examples, not necessarily related to coding, but I wrote out the script for my video last night, and I rewrote it, and I rewrote it, and I rewrote it, and then I filmed it, and then I cut it, and I edited it, and I redid it 6 more times, and at the end, I just felt like what you just described, kind of emptied out, creatively, just kind of I don't know if this is good or not, but let's go with it. That is the learning process when you feel emptied out. That's a good thing. I wouldn't avoid that. Please tell me that this kind of answers your question. Maybe I'm just far off.
No, I think you're right. I think I should just keep going, see where it goes. Yeah. Also, another thing is, if I do stay on with them part-time pays, which is what I'm trying to do with them right now, if I do that, do you think it would make sense if I tried getting other full-stack work as well, freelancing on the side along with that? Or do you think I should stick to one thing and learn while I'm doing that?
No. Definitely freelance. If you got the hustle, go for it. Definitely do it. I'm not going to say limit yourself. I would say do as much as you can if you don't care. Some people don't have that work ethic. I always had 2 jobs. Even right now I have 2 jobs. I still teach code and I make YouTube videos and then a bunch of other stuff. I would say maximize the hustle, because in this industry, that is how you get ahead. So I would be looking for freelance. I'd be looking for maybe another part-time job, a remote full-time job, and then just do that. Make your current job your side hustle. I would definitely say do as much as you can. Obviously don't kill yourself, but it will pay itself off. You can tell the difference between people that work their 40 hours a week and people that work their 2 jobs 40 hours a week. There's just a difference, yeah.
And if you don't mind, if kind of one last question. So if I if I'm doing all that, and basically right now I was able to get into this because, as I said, first of all, I know the person who's I know a relative of the person I'm working for right now in their company, but also they've actually, because of legal issues, this startup was actually delayed a bit. So I was actually lucky that they were so desperate for a programmer that they were willing to give me a shot. So
you say that they were so desperate for a programmer they were willing to give me a shot. That right there, not trying to call you out on stream, but I'm going to do it anyways. That right there is an indication of your imposter syndrome, of like, they gave me a shot, they gave me a chance. Like, you can have somewhat a little bit of that recognition of being like, thanks for giving me a chance, but at the same time, don't let them guilt trip you into that. You got value, my dude. Like, you got the hustle. Like, it was your idea to start looking for another job. I wouldn't undercut yourself like that. Like,
oh yeah. I mean, yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, I have lots of programming YouTubers do make videos on imposter syndrome, so I try my best to avoid that. That's what I mean. I mean, basically, I was able to get in without knowing some things that other employers might, expect. So right now, all I know is for the back end, I just know PHP, and then of course I know JavaScript, CSS, and HTML5 for the front end. So if I was to, carry on, like after I finish with them, if I move on, what else do you recommend I should learn to?
It's difficult to say. Like, you got goals. I'm sure you got a vision of what you want to make, what you want to build. I would go with that in your free time. I'm not going to just tell you something to learn. Like, if I'm going to say you want a job, this is to you and to the chat. If you want a job, learn JavaScript and learn Python. Like, those are the two that gets you jobs. And if you know JavaScript, you can do Node, which is back end and front end, and everything in between. If you know Python, you can almost do anything else. And then you got to look what's in your local area also. So I would say JavaScript, Python / whatever's in your local area. Those three things.
I heard that to get a job in Python, even though it's quite easy to learn, like the jobs that exist for that are really only for people who have degrees. And right now, as I said, I've just come out of what's basically the equivalent of high school. So
that's all right, man, dude. You're already ahead of people. Like, so what you should do, I know it costs a little money in the UK, not like the US, but like, you should get the company to pay you to go to school.
Right. Okay.
Try that. Like, well, that's anyway, like so underrated.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I think I've hogged the space on this call for long enough. Anyway, so thank you for the advice. I'll work with the advice you've given me. Also, thank you for your Discord community, because some of the people there are extremely helpful. So yeah, thanks.
Yeah, man. Bye. I'm glad it helps. I'm glad I helped. So thanks for calling in. Thanks for having the guts.
Bye. Have a good evening, man.
You too. See ya. All right, Ricardo joined and then he left because I guess he got impatient. I'm sorry, Ricardo. I'm gonna answer chat because I just watched the questions scroll for 10 minutes. All right, let me scroll back up. I saw a bunch of questions. There were some just kind of banter. What did I miss? You're weird. Cool. What do you think about 15-day sprints in your work? We did 15-day sprints. We did sprint review, sprint prep. You watched cybersecurity stream. You were left the main question of how do web devs keep their site secure? Like, if you made a site with only front end, how is it secure? Well, you wouldn't have to worry too much about it being secure. You're not passing data around, so there's not huge risk with data manipulation, stuff like that. If it's just a static site, whenever you're receiving data and sending data, there's a chance for injection, but you can make sure that you cut that off. Let's see. Did I miss any other questions? Currently doing cybersecurity analysis 5 years as a way to transition from dev positions without starting from scratch. Yeah, absolutely. If you're doing cybersecurity analysis, I'm sure you know the fundamentals of web, at least a piece of it. Can you give examples of what kinds of tasks that a junior web dev might be given? Yeah, so I would say, have you ever had like a company with like an opt-out page or an opt-in page? That was my first job task, was to develop an opt-out page, a bilingual opt-out page in English and in Spanish to opt out of the company's like service. That was it. It was just a page, and they launched it, and then like they sent out a company-wide email. They're like, Josh made this page, and I was like, yeah. It was like super short. What did I miss? Send a cover letter explaining your passion for the job. Yes. How was interview on TopTool and work there as well? No, I didn't work there. Basically, TopTool is like a 7-step interview process. It's insane. You do a technical test that's like 2 hours long. Yeah. It's basically contracting, by the way. If you work at TopTool, you just get contracted out to companies. So TopTool finds the companies, and they hire you to that company, and TopTool just scrapes off the top of whatever you make. Kind of like a recruiter, but like permanently. Can you call in, Greg? Call in, bro. Oh, hold on. Let me unlock the meeting. What are some skills for someone who's a beginner when it comes to programming? Background. Learn a specific language or learn CS along with the language. It depends on what you want to do. Web dev, you don't really need CS. Hey Josh, how do you ask for a raise? You go in there with a list of everything that you've done to increase the company's value. All right, we got one. We got one. Let me lock this. I'm gonna answer one more question. Please hold person in the call. How does React performance compare to JavaScript? How much overhead is there with virtual DOM? Would you like to make a difference in the host? The company needs to buy. Wait. I mean, it's negligible. I've never. You could do speed tests. You can audit, and some of the speed stuff to do with web development has to do with how many requests you're making, the initial load times. Are you lazy loading? Stuff like that. What did Joshua about the page? Wait, what? What type of things? Let's see. What is this Grindr you've been seeing? That is my company. That's my company, right? So the whole idea of it is for me to just, oh my gosh. This is what I deal with. Hold on. Yeah, it scares you. Imagine, like, she does that in the middle of the night at, like, 3 a.m. when people walk down the sidewalk. FBI, open up! Yeah, Grindr is my company. So the whole idea behind it is to just document everything that I'm doing. It's kind of this really meta position of me helping people learn to code, but at the same time documenting my entrepreneurship experience and all this stuff. And eventually I'll make videos on that, too. All right, so... due to code. My middle name is Sherm. All right, I'm gonna unmute here. How's it going?
Hey, what's up, Josh? My name is Greg, man. How are you?
Greg, dude, I'm good. How's your Friday, man?
Oh, man, it's snowing and shit. I live in Buffalo right now. It's snowing like a motherfucker.
Oh, man.
I mean, we supposed to get like 12 inches of snow tonight, I think.
So you should just take everything in your fridge and put it outside and then unplug your fridge and save on electricity. That's what I would do because I'm a cheap, frugal person, let's say. But yeah, dude.
I don't blame you.
How can I help?
Yeah, so man, there's two things I wanted to say. The first thing is your last video was fucking amazing. It's literally what I'm going through right now. Just to give you a short story about what's going on. I'm from Detroit, Michigan. I used to live in D.C. for about 5 years. They make a long story short. I followed a girl, it didn't work out. Was trying to figure out my life. Met another beautiful woman. Ended up being like a doctor during medical school. We kind of fell in love. She moved to Buffalo. I followed her. I left my job used to work at a help desk for like 10 years. Left the help desk to finish my computer science degree. I'll be done in spring. And now I'm trying to figure out what's my next move in my career. Either I'm going to just look for a regular job or I'm going to do this entrepreneur shit. And like me seeing your video was like very inspiring because it's like when you're trying to like figure some shit out and there's just so much unknown. Like you're looking at your savings and then you look at your credit card balances and then you trying to like make shit move, like bend reality. Like I can really relate to that shit. It's like there's so much uncertainty. So I just want to say that video was amazing. I hope it get reposted. I hope YouTube put you on like the top 10 videos and shit because that shit was amazing. I really felt what you was feeling during that moment, and it was like 30 minutes long. I don't even watch a 30-minute video.
I don't know how it got to 25 minutes. I actually that was after like editing for like 6 hours, and somehow I just posted. I was like, no one's gonna watch this, but. I don't know. That's how it goes. Every time I just post something, I'm like, this is stupid. Everyone's like, this is great. And then every time I make a video, I'm like, this is the one. Everyone's like, this is stupid. Please post quality over quantity, Josh. I'm like, okay, got it. Thanks. So, I know what. So, as far as like going, I didn't mean to like cut you off, interrupt, by the way.
No, you good, man. You good. I like conversations with entrepreneurs, man. I like hearing different people bounce ideas. So, here's what's going on with me. So I live in Buffalo, and there's a lot of there's more of web developer jobs and more large enterprise jobs. So I did a little bit of web development. To be honest with you, I kind of don't like it. It's kind of like art to me. Like HTML, CSS is okay, but it's doesn't like, it's just like no fire with me. It's like it feels like I'm just like pushing shit and moving shit over. There's really nothing. I used to mess with Java. Java's cool. That's where you want to make a lot of money. But it's like I'm really not trying to do corporation shit. So what I really more passionate about, and this one, it's kind of funny because I had to really meditate and like really think about this shit. It was more with like mathematics and like more with really like hardcore technical shit, which was like AI and shit. So I really started to pick up with Python and really started reviewing my calculus and shit. And like I'm actually about to I'm starting my vlog with me about to take a course and shit, trying to like build my brand up. And like my question is, how do like for a YouTuber, because I only got like 15 subscribers, like I got my friends and family to like subscribe to my shit. When you like first starting with YouTube, like what's the one thing you think really to get your subs up, to like really like to get people to like notice you? Because once you get people to notice you on YouTube, you can start getting other like companies and mid-sized companies like, oh, he actually might be serious about the shit. So that's what I'm trying to figure out, like, how do I get my subscription up? Like, I can tell you my channel name and you can look at it.
Yeah, drop it. Well, I'll go look at it. Go ahead.
All right. So it's Gregory Shavers. So it's Gregory Shavers Jr. So if you type in Gregory Shavers Jr. and the, I'm actually, I got you on, I'm looking at the channel right now. I'll put it in the chat right now. Hold on.
So I'm gonna tell you. Okay, so I'm gonna. You got pen and paper? I'm gonna give you a few things to write down.
Okay.
So it's for all you guys out there that want to build a developer brand. These are a few things on YouTube that I've noticed.
All right.
All right. So anything with a $sign and money does well on a thumbnail. So a thumbnail is your bottleneck. We'll talk about thumbnails. Anything with a $sign and money does well. Anything with the word job does well. Anything that's kind of like painted over with a question mark as like a surprise box, that does well. Make sure your thumbnails are bright. What?
You said painted over with a question mark? I'm not quite sure what
So
that
like let's say, are you watching live stream?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say you have this thing right here. You would paint this over with like a white box in Photoshop, and then you'd put a question mark on it, so people would be like, what is he holding? Obviously it sucks. Clickbait sucks, but that is the name of the game. And it sucks, but a majority of people, even me included, I don't remember why I click on thumbnails. I just click on a thumbnail because of whatever the picture was, and then 2 seconds later I forget why I clicked, and I'm like, oh, this video's pretty good. You just remember that if you start to feel bad for clickbait. So you'll get called out by a vocal minority, though. Yeah, so anything with the word job, anything with the word real, anything with the word fake, anything...
Fake?
Like fake, yeah. Like, is this fake, or I did this and
fake.
this happened? These are just titles and thumbnails that really work for me.
Okay.
What else? Make sure your audio is between -7 decibels and -12 decibels. Make sure if you have music, it's -30 decibels.
Okay.
I mean, I can go on and on, but that's kind of what does it. Your thumbnail is the bottleneck, because if you have the best video, the best content, and no one watches it, doesn't matter, because you don't have any eyes clicking on it. So you can make the best stuff in the world, but if your thumbnail is garbage, then yeah. So you got to get your thumbnail game up. If you choose to take a picture of yourself, put it in Lightroom, drag the clarity all the way up. But it makes it ultra HD looking. If you look at my thumbnail for this stream, I drag the clarity all the way up and I grayed out the background, pop the color some. I don't know. Yeah, and it's not code related, guys, but yeah. Hopefully that helps.
Okay,
Greg.
so let me say that money, job. Okay, paint over with the question mark. I get what you're saying. Fake, real, and a good thumbnail.
Yeah, anything with $signs too.
$. Okay. Why the $? Just
People
just
click.
like to just, like,
People click. That's it. The people see money. Everybody who doesn't want more money. Billionaires want more money, right? Everybody wants more. Just people click. That's just how it works. I don't know. It's all kind of an
Yeah.
experiment to me. I just kind of take notes sometimes, and I figured out that's what works. So test those
That
out.
shit crazy.
Steal all my ideas.
that's really some SEO shit. That's kind of, it's unfortunate, but yeah, I see what you're saying. It's just clickbait.
I mean, to a certain degree. So you could also play off of the two opportunities to ask or type text on YouTube. For example, I mean, you can put text on your thumbnail as a question and then answer that question as the title of your video. Also, be aware that most users are using their phone, and so try to keep text on the left side because there's a little stopwatch that says watch later on the top right portion. You want to keep your text away from that so it's readable. Like this just gets really tiny and detailed for how all of this works, but try to remember that most users are on mobile.
Right, yeah, that's very. I didn't even think about the mobile users. That's the thing. I want to ask one more quick question. What do you think about like with the industry with a lot of companies moving over to the cloud? Like I'm trying to get certified in my in AWS. So I've been studying from AWS Solutions Architect. Like, do you think the industry is moving? Like developers got to start knowing the cloud, or do you just feel like this is just a phase?
Cloud's the future. Cloud's the future. I think the main thing with cloud right now is security. If they can work on that and get that better, then it's going to happen, right? Who doesn't want access to their information regardless of where they're at? So cloud is the future. I don't know if the certification necessarily will help. Obviously, I don't think Amazon's going to be dethroned anytime soon, but I still think it's important. I would say in general, DevOps skills are really important. If you got DevOps skills, you can learn AWS.
Yeah, that's true. Hey man, I definitely appreciate you answering my questions. I'm gonna be looking out for you, man. Hopefully, when I get to like 2,000, 3,000 subs, we can collaborate and shit, man. I don't like asking people for help unless I get to a certain point. So I'm gonna be working.
It's not like that. Just message me when you have an idea of what we could talk about, and we'll do it. There's plenty of space for all of the developers out here. In the future, one thing, Greg, I would say, I think you already know, but to the viewers out there, a personal brand will replace the resume in the future. Who are you going to hire? Are you going to hire someone with a story and a documentation of that story and already giving value without having to be asked to do so? Or are you going to hire someone with a resume that makes you click on all this stuff? Like imagine the person with a resume and a brand, or just the person with a resume.
Yeah,
personal brand
that's true. I mean, it's kind of interesting because like some companies, they say they want a story and they want to, like, I don't know, in Western countries, it's all about the brand and the story. But then, like, you got funny, fickle companies like, they got to have this and have that. Like I said, I used to live in D.C. and, like, people still care about degrees and shit. Like, my dad was like, you should get another degree. I'm like, why the fuck would I want another degree? Like, I just spent, like, $80K on a computer science degree. Like, I'm not about to do that shit. Like, it's so fucking weird, and plus the government is not working right now, so I'm really not trying to go for that. It's I don't know. It's just interesting how you go to different companies and shit.
But you don't want to go that route anyways. You're an entrepreneur. You'll either get there after you work or you'll do it before. So.
All right, man. I'm gonna let you go, man. I know you got other callers there. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Hope it helped.
All right, man. Talk to you later.
Have a good weekend.
You too. Bye.
Thanks. Greg, you're a cool dude. Thanks for calling. I'll answer some questions real quick. Josh, I got 3 million questions. You got time? Of course. Josh, can you give an example of best resume in format? PDF. 2 columns, all right. 1 column is okay too. Use a header and a footer. Can bootcamp grads get internships? Bootcamp grads can get regular jobs. Getting internships in college. Get a regular job in college. Make good content equals more subs. Good content doesn't matter if you don't have good thumbnails. You can have the best content in the world, no one clicks on it. Same thing with the digital products or products in general. You can have the best product in the world. If you don't have eyes on it, no one's going to buy it. Won't matter. What else? How do you become a digital nomad? Work remote. Become an entrepreneur. Figure out a way to put your business online. Joshua's like the Superman but developer. Yeah, I don't know about that. Your thoughts on JavaScript 30 program, if you've done it. I've never done it, but I know what you're talking about. I think, what's his name? It was in my 20 resources video. How can you make a web development project without real materials, just virtualization art that may be what? How to translate pixel perfect designs into code? That takes practice. That just takes practice. You got to understand how that would lay out and be responsive. Lewis, what's up? Best programming languages to learn? Python and JavaScript. Hi Josh, how's it going? Don, it's going good. Looking good, healthy, happy. Andrew, welcome aboard. Thanks, man. Take 120K for a not exciting job or stay 90K working at a groundbreaking startup. I am personally a fan of startups because you get to learn a wealth of information, you get to learn marketing, you get to learn business, you get to mess with investors, you get to do things that aren't on your job. And if you want to do that, great. If not, go to the other one. Let me see. How do you find the strength to say no to friends, gaming, etc.? Continue the hustle. You can see that you've perfected it, and you're a little jealous. I'm not. How do you say no to friends? Implying that I have friends. I actually don't really have anyone here that I go hang out with, basically ever. I used to have friends that were like, hey, come to the bar with us, come hang out, come chill this weekend. Nah, bro, I gotta work. Nah, bro, I'm growing. Got stuff to do. This is more fulfilling. What's your take on finding a great place to work? How do you personally determine what makes a workplace great? Many places are uptight, not very loose. Startups are pretty good, Casper. Startups are good. Remote jobs are good. Remote jobs are very culture-based because it needs trust. Wait, was the meeting room closed? It might be closed. Let me unlock it. So only one person can join because I'm on the free plan, I guess. Now it's open. So remote jobs are good, startups are good, large corporate companies are probably not that good. How do I find a good company? I want to look on LinkedIn and I want to see people that have been there for a few years. If I looked on LinkedIn, like I did at one job when they wanted to hire me, like this one job pulled me in and they wanted to hire me, and I looked on LinkedIn to see how the company was doing, and all of their developers had suddenly stopped working in the month of April. All of them. And I was like, this looks like they got laid off and then they got a new project, but they needed someone. So, okay, we got someone else. I gotta mute. I'll answer a few questions, catch back up. How long is normal boot camp? Normal, 3 months. That just teaches you web dev. Editing program, Premiere Pro. How long are you doing this for? Well, maybe 30 more minutes. What I do to grow my portfolio? What do you mean? Worked at Mini. That was all shielded to us senior devs who are overworked, but yes, handsomely rewarded. I'm not gonna sell my soul for a little bit more money. I'll take less money for more freedom. Recent bootcamp grad, you applied to hundreds of jobs, tailoring resume to these companies, yet you're still not getting interviews. Is there a chance you could look over the resume? Yeah, shoot it on over. It's a Patreon perk, so if you're willing to pay and you want to support the channel, it's just a Patreon perk. Do you have a marketing branding course? Ian, yeah, so it's been on my list of things to make, but I always figure out a way not to do it. How many hours a day do you spend actually programming? At work? When I was at work, like on a good day, like when I was enjoying what I was doing, maybe 4 hours. 4 hours of like actual work, because there's like tabbing between Stack Overflow and reading questions and then all that stuff. Can you help me with Lambda School? You need to know if you can get a job straight after and if they give you free software to use on the course. Yeah, everything they use is free, but I don't. No one's going to guarantee you a job right after. I mean, but you don't pay anything until you do get a job. Hey, so you have a basic understanding, but for remote jobs, how do they train an employee? They use the same thing as you would if you were like gaming with your friends, right? You would just team share, or you would screen share like on Hangouts or Skype or whatever. That's what you do. You sit on a call all day with your screen sharing programs, and then you just walk through the code with each other, and you click, and you're like, hey, wait, do that again, and all that. React Dev getting pushed into React Native by company. How do you push back while not cutting off future opportunities? Just tell them that you're not interested in progressive web app development, and yeah. So, okay. After bootcamp, how likely is it to make 100K? In San Francisco, probably pretty high because 100K is like 30K. All right, I'm going to unmute and I'll answer some more questions. Thanks for being patient, dude. Sorry it took so long.
Oh, hey. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Oh wow, it's kind of weird being here.
It's all
So-
good, man.
Sorry, there's a motorcycle going by. So just generally, I just have a few questions. I live in, maybe you see my, like, spam during your past streams. I've been, like, asking questions about, like, just jobs in Northern Virginia and that area. Like, let me give you a little bit overview. Like, it's kind of, you know, competitive out here. A lot of companies, like, really want you to have bachelors. And, like, maybe I told you before, maybe you see my comments, but, like, I'm 17, right? And I got my associates. And I had one internship, and they had me do some Rails work there. And I used some, like, you know, like, I used APIs, and I just did a couple projects. And, like, I want to go into, you know, full stack development type stuff. What would your advice be to, like, a young developer like me after an internship and a couple projects in my resume?
Okay, so the thing is, you said you want to be more full stack, but if you've used Rails, you're already full stack. And then number two, I think the only reason that you place emphasis on your age is because someone else has done it before you. And so now you think it matters. Am I wrong?
That's true, yeah.
I feel like someone said, you're 17, so X. Or your parents are like, you're so young, so X. Or someone said, you're so young. Or something about your age, which made you think about it. But in reality, it doesn't matter. You're not supposed to put your age on your resume anyway, so don't do that. And if you have a great portfolio and you're using Rails and you got APIs, don't even include your education, because if they see that you're in high school and it's really recent, that's a dead giveaway for your age. So I'd avoid any indication of your age, and get on a phone call with the HR person, get on a video call, do everything you can, but avoid giving away your age. And then only at the last second when you have to do the background check, tell them your age. Everything else doesn't matter.
I did use some Rails with the internship, but like I'm trying to focus more on Java because that's what I learned in college, like in my community college, and that's what I did the project, like some of the projects with. I just feel more comfortable with it. What would you like think about that? Because you know you don't really talk too much about Java because you don't know much about it, but could you like do you have any opinions on it about Java web development, Java Spring framework, you know?
I think the only one that I see all the time in chat is like Java Spring Boot, but I've never done it. Why is there a reason that you want to do it?
Because I'm like pretty comfortable with Java. Like I took a data structure class on it, and it's a little bit harder than Rails. Like it's not conventional with configuration. It's like the opposite. It's a little bit hard to set up and to use, but it's like enterprise level. It's much bigger than Rails, like functionality wise. But I feel like Java just clicks. You know, Java. I've been using it for a couple of years, and I know a lot about it. And I do not feel like transferring over to PHP or Python or Node.js or any other backend language. Like I feel like I'm good with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript already, but for backend, I just feel only comfortable with Java.
Well, then, I mean, like, go for it. I'm not going to tell you not to go for it. I mean, it's difficult for me to, like, tell you what to do in this. I don't want to just, like, talk out of my ass, you know? But I would say definitely go for it. The main thing that seems to hold you back is the idea that your age matters. But, if you wouldn't have told me that you're 17, I would have assumed that you're, like, 23 or 28 like me. Would have had zero idea. Chat would have had no idea. No one would have had any idea. But that was the first thing that you said because...
I was told it would be like maybe an advantage because I had such little time to learn this and I learned it fast. Like I'm not talking about it as a disadvantage. I'm talking about it like I'm talking as if would it be an advantage over some other people because I'm young. I don't know.
No, it's going to come down to what you can do.
Yeah, that's true. And one last question. So my parents I would like to get my bachelor's obviously, and like I want to get my bachelor's later on in life or maybe like soon. But would it matter too much difference between an associate's and a bachelor's degree if I can still prove the company that I'm like I know what I'm doing, you know?
Without a bachelor's degree?
Yeah, like I have it halfway done, right? So I might as well just get my bachelor's anyway because I have my associates. But I'm thinking of, you know, getting into the industry right after like I get my associates, which I get in a month. Is that possible? Like, would you say it's like not smart idea to not get your bachelor's first?
This is what I do. I would take the job or any job, and I would make them pay for your bachelor's if you're going to do it. Don't pay for it out of pocket. Yeah. There's too many jobs out there that are willing to give you tuition reimbursement, and then I would do it. But I wouldn't pay for it out of pocket first, especially because you already know that you can do the job because you've already had a job. So make them pay for it.
Would you say an associate is a plus in the resume? Like I should put it, right? It's some kind of a degree, you know. It got me proficient in Java.
If you put your associate degree on there, chances are you're going to have your high school right below that college, and then they're going to realize how old you are.
I won't put my high school. I'll just put my associates in computer science.
Then do that, but don't put your high school on below.
Yeah, I won't. I don't know why people do that. Is that even like a good idea to put there?
I mean, they just don't have anything else, and they're like, oh, education, what do I put? I guess I'll put high school. They just don't. I mean, they just don't know any better, I guess. Well, my free Zoom meeting has ended, so I'll open it back up. I'm sorry, it just literally just turned off. I'm really sorry. Okay. Let me put the new meeting ID. Only one person can join. I'm really sorry that it cut off. Here's the new meeting ID. And then I will all right, it's unlocked. Such finesse with ending calls. I'm sorry. This is really bad, but I hope it helped. Okay. Did I miss any questions? Joshua got you answered most of my questions. Thank you. You're 17. Okay, dude. Thanks. Sorry. It literally just cut off. Did you call back just now? Let me look. What's up?
Hey Josh, what's up, man? You know, I love watching your channel. Started watching it, I think, a few months ago. I myself, I'm getting a second degree in computer science. You know, I looked into boot camps initially, and you know, I thought maybe that'd be a better route to go. But I don't know if you've heard of Reddit, where they have, like, you know, those computer science career questions. A lot of those told me it's better to go the bachelor's route because it does open a lot of doors. And I see a lot of companies, you know, they want you to have a bachelor's in computer science. So I felt like it would open a lot more doors. I mean, what's your take on that?
Depends on where you want to work. I wouldn't go into debt for it in any scenario at all. There's going to be a lot of people out there that have jobs that never went to college, and their doors are open just because of what they can do and what they've done, and because they can communicate. A bachelor's degree is going to teach you how to make a compiler from scratch. They're going to teach you a little bit of math related to computer science. They're going to teach you Java, maybe some C, C++, but they're not. Depends on what you want to do. If you want a Java job or a C and a C++ job, to go for it. If you want a web dev job, you're going to have to hustle in your free time on the weekends. But there's really, some companies it's a checkbox, but that's literally it. Some companies it's a requirement, but very rarely do I see required. It's more preferred experience, or we would like a combination of experience and education. So if you don't finish the education and you have some experience on the side, that's great. It still counts. No one cares, really. At least I wouldn't. I wouldn't hire someone based on if they had a degree or not. I would look at this dude's project and this dude's project running locally, and I'd be like, yeah, this guy knows what he's doing, and I'd hire that guy.
Yeah, I've talked to a lot of people, like, you know, that went to the university. I mean, I myself wouldn't go in for like another 80 or 50K, you know, worth of debt. Fortunately, I already had a degree, so I only needed like about 2 more years. So, you know, I'm not really wasting that much. And one of the things that deterred me from boot camp was the high costs that they had, really, and there's no real financial aid for it. So I guess that's one of the reasons I went the bachelor's route.
It's the same thing. A bachelor's is loans, and a boot camp is loans. It's loans on loans.
I know, but
go ahead.
Yeah, but like with financial aid, you have like, you know, certain stipulations. You have time to pay it off right when you're done. Whereas with boot camp, I think you need to apply from a third party, and they may have higher interest rates. Whereas like federal loans, they have, like, you know, certain APR, you know, like certain rates that are a lot lower.
If you're
because
worried,
it's either subsidized.
go ahead.
Oh, my bad. No, I was just saying that's one of the reasons that I guess I kind of chose that route. Yeah, I just kind of wanted to know, like, you know, the avenues that would open up for you having a bachelor's versus a boot camp. Because I know, like, some boot camps, like, they tend to hire you to work for them, and then they put on their, like, stats, like, oh, hey, you know, this many people got hired after completing boot camp, but it's actually them being like TAs for the boot camp until they find something.
Some do
and
that.
Yeah, I know there's some. Yeah, I know some reputable ones. Like if you go, they have really good networking. But like there's so many boot camps now, it's like kind of hard to kind of find like one that's kind of, you know, good. That could kind of help, you know.
Can I ask how
I
much
guess,
you've
like,
put into your bachelor's degree over the past 2 years? How much that costed you so far?
Probably 10K so far. And I think I have like a year left. So I'd say probably another 6K to go. So total would be 15, 16K.
So you're right there with the boot camp basically. And you're
The only thing was that I couldn't pay up front with a boot camp. I think they you know, if you go through like those third-party loans, like through a bank or something, I feel like they're a little bit more strict, and their interest rates are a little bit more high. Just the government rates, they're more subsidized, unless you get unsubsidized loans.
Okay, well, here's a different perspective. If you take a federalized, unsubsidized, or subsidized student loan, you can't declare bankruptcy and remove that in any case. You could have $10 million of any kind of debt, declare bankruptcy, that's it, boom, gone, bye. But if you still have $200,000 in student debt, nope, it stays with you forever. Whereas if you take a private loan, you declare bankruptcy, it'll be gone. If you're worried about
That's insane.
if you're worried about a few, maybe $1,000 would be the interest that you pay depending on how long you do that. I don't know. This is my thing. If you're worried about interest rates or stuff like that, you're not making enough money. Like it shouldn't. The fact that you have to pay an extra $60 a month because of the loan interest rate shouldn't matter. But I would like to also pose another question to you. You've been in school you said you'll be about 3 years, right?
No, I've done about a year.
And then you said you had another year before you get to bachelor's?
Yeah.
How do you get a bachelor's in 2 years?
Oh, I told you this is my second bachelor's.
Oh, okay. So
yeah, my first one was in science. So I worked before, like I'm a non-traditional student. I've worked in the science and research field before deciding to switch into CS. That's one of the reasons I was asking you, like, you know, I looked into boot camps and either going back to college, and I had looked into Reddit, and it seemed like a lot of them were kind of...
Reddit is very elitist. Doesn't matter what you post on Reddit, you're just going to get shit on. It's like Stack Overflow. Yeah. They're very, if you're not the best, we don't even want to consider you type place. Because I posted on Reddit for help a few times, and they're not very helpful. Everyone's just really condescending. Everyone tries to be better than everyone else. I mean, Reddit's a good resource, but advice on Reddit, you're going to get it from like a very biased kind of niche. But I guess my main question was that, like, if you go to a boot camp, it's 3 months. You go to one with a guarantee. You get a job making $50K. That guy went to school for 3 months and he has a job making $50K. And you've been in school for 2 years and you're still going to get a job making $50K. But now this guy's been working for a year and 9 months.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think he's kind of low in my area. I'm not in a high cost of living area either. I think they start you off at least 70K, but you can move on up to 100K probably in like a few years. My only concern was that I've known some people who went to boot camp, they didn't get a job, and like they're just in debt, you know, and so it's kind of hard for them to find a job, and that's what kind of put me off. And you know, I also researched, that's why I brought up Reddit. And then, like, you know, people with a degree, I just feel like it's like, you know, at least they have something there that they could put on. And a lot of these like a lot of companies that ask for degrees, you know, it kind of helps you. So that's what I was just wondering. It's like, you know, it would have just have been better to do this avenue versus the boot camp avenue?
I think that because you already have a bachelor's degree, a boot camp avenue would have been better. Because it doesn't matter what your bachelor's is in at that point. If you want the paper to have the paper, you have the checkbox already. I don't know. It sounds like it kind of seems like you don't want to hear that as an answer, but like.
No. I mean, I appreciate everything you're saying. I'm definitely not deflecting anything, and I don't want to take up too much of your time either. And I really appreciate you taking this call. And your YouTube channel is great, and I wish you the best of success and everything. But I thank you for taking my call, though. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. We're just trying to help. Like, it doesn't. As long as you get a job and you succeed in life, that's what really matters, right? Just try to limit your debt if you can in any scenario.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thanks a lot, Josh. I appreciate it, man. Take it easy.
Yeah, man. Have a good one.
All right. You too.
Okay. Let me put the music back for a second while I answer some questions. All right. I mean, everyone's got their own opinion. I have a bachelor's degree, and I don't think it's done anything but make people think that I need a visa because I got it in Finland. You got a few gigs off there? Yeah, Reddit has helped me too, but in general, have you ever posted something and it doesn't even make it past /r_new because there's just like the downvoters that sit and just watch the r/new and just downvote everything. If it's not something that has to do with Jimmy Fallon, downvote, All right. You have a bachelor's from 1997. Is it relevant? It's the same. It's a piece of paper that's still the same in 2019. Spent nothing. Yeah, there's a Pell Grant you can get, but you have to have certain income requirements for a Pell Grant. And because he already has a bachelor's degree, I doubt he'd qualify for that. What about Django? Not too sure about Django. You've been in their Slack for a few months now. 42 is a great program. I haven't done a whole lot of research about 42. I know it's free, though, and I think they give you free housing up to a certain point. Your thoughts on Ruby on Rails 2019? I don't like Ruby on Rails in general just because there's too much magic. End up fighting it. How much cost your set? What set? What do you think about Bachelor of Science in CS at the University of London on Coursera? You're already working on it. As a machine learning engineer, you're about to spend all your money in a degree. Should you? Don't spend all your money in a degree. Get your company to pay for it. Have I developed an Android? No, not natively. Where are you from? I'm from Georgia. Do you like DevPoint Labs? I don't believe DevPoint Labs offers a guarantee, so I'm going to say if it doesn't have a guarantee, don't go. Also, DevPoint Labs teaches Ruby on Rails. And Ruby on Rails is a job that pays more, but no one wants to do Ruby on Rails because that's not what's hot. Quit your dead-end job. Hit me up if you're down. How does that work? What are you selling, Kilo Loco? What did I miss here? Leslie, I don't know if you're still here, but you donated $15 when we were on the phone. Thank you for that. Can you explain why Rails is dead again? There's a few corporations that use Rails, like GitHub, and I think Twitter uses it. But in general, it's just not as popular for development. Also, all right, Leslie, cool. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Congratulations on your DevOps role, by the way. I don't know. Rails is just a little bit older of a language, and usually you'll see postings for senior engineers. It's because people don't want to do Rails because the opportunity is not there. You'll be developing older kind of software. Does remote affect pay? I mean, some companies kind of do. Like, they don't have to pay for an office space, and they know that you don't have to commute, so you might get a little lower of an offer. Do I have any thoughts on Thinkful Bootcamp? I've kind of researched it. My friend Katie teaches there. I should ask her about it. Let's see. What one in Utah do you like best? I don't know. I think... There's like Helio. I think that has some sort of guarantee. There's a V-School, which has kind of like an income share agreement, slightly different than Lambda. I think it's like 14% for 3 years. And Lambda's like 17 for 2. That's about it. Yeah, if you're here and you enjoy the stream, please hit the like button. I appreciate that. It helps me out. You're wondering because you got an email back from Lambda and you asked them if I would 100% get accepted. They also said about pre-course work. So KERS 159, this is how it works with Lambda School. You apply, they send you some pre-course work, you have to solve a couple of problems, and then you have to do an in-person interview so that they can make sure that you have money to live, you have a plan, you're going to be there, you're dedicated. It's not, I mean, you have to show that you want to go. They can't just accept everybody. Have you heard of FileMaker? No. Does remote affect salary if you're outside the US? Yes. So if you're like in India, for example, someone messaged me the other day. They're like, "Hi, I'm in India, and a company in the United States, in the state of Florida, wanted me to redesign their website, but he's wanting to know how much my monthly salary should be." And I was like, "Bro, if you try to ask him for a regular U.S. salary, he's not gonna even consider you." The whole reason that he's going to people in India is because global arbitrage, right? Like, he knows that you can live well on a less amount of dollars he would here. So yes, they know that they're gonna get a deal. Had fun hanging out in chat. Hits with $2 Soul Encoded. Thank you, man. Have a good Friday. Have a good weekend. Trying to escape UPS. Been working hard. Thanks for the vids. Christopher Leviston, thank you for the 5. I appreciate that, man. How you gonna escape UPS? I mean, you just gotta hustle. Ruby is good. Don't know what you're talking about. You're probably thinking about Rails. Yeah, Ruby's okay. Ruby's okay, but Sinatra and Rails, eh. I was looking at, I think I missed one about, what do I think about front-end masters? Is it worth it? You're 1 month into teaching yourself all this stuff. Front-end masters, I've never done it. I've heard some good reviews about it. You were looking at Phaser.js and felt more inspired to make an HTML5 game instead of web dev. Do you think that's something worth going into? So HTML5 games, what's your plan? How are you going to monetize that? You're just going to have like little in-game currency and then you charge people to do it? I mean, it has a potential business model, but is your game going to be good, or is it just, you got to think that there's like 50 versions of Candy Crush on the App Store. Second bachelor's for 12K, or bootcamp for 11. You already have a bachelor's. You already got your checkbox. Just do the bootcamp. Would you pick Meteor or Express? Express. Pluralsight, is it worth it? It's more of career prep. Yeah, Pluralsight's good for career prep. They also have like some little measuring things that tell you how ready you would be to apply, which is kind of neat. It's like some proprietary thing they have. Patriots or Rams? Pass on that. I don't know. I don't know anything about football. Would you be willing to tell us how much YouTube pays with about 50K subs? I'm going to let you guys guess how much you think YouTube pays me with 50,000 subs. You don't get paid on subs, by the way. So I'm going to let you guess, and I'll tell you if you're right. It's not as much as you think. UPS as a preloaded, but you really want to get into web dev, then you got to do it. $800. Do jobs really verify if you have a bachelor's or not? No. $5. $3K a month? Definitely not $3K a month. 1.5. $250 a month. Yeah, so it varies between $1,500 and about $1,800. So it's not as much as you'd think. But that calculates in any donations, that calculates in, like, so the donations for this here get attached to my AdSense. So I don't get that money directly. I have to wait for a whole 30 days and then, yeah. That's not bad for Utah, right? Yeah, that's actually really bad. So that's without taxes. You got to take taxes off of that, right? You just get paid $1,500. That's like, yeah, it's not great. I mean, it's not bad, but it's not great. And everyone in their country is like, if I had $1,500 a month, I'd be a king. But you got to remember, different money. I live in Utah. I live in Salt Lake City. It's pretty expensive to live here. My cost of living, and I live very meagerly, pretty frugal, I think, is about $3,300 a month just to pay my bills and eat. So that doesn't even cover it, right? So I teach code as well. Right, so I don't just do YouTube full time, even though I consider it that, even though it doesn't pay, it's still my full time thing. You should move. It's not how it works. WoW Classic or BFA? Can we go back to Legion? Is there any longevity in DevOps? Yeah, I mean, someone's got to do the DevOps. Usually. They'll try to get the full stack guy to do it, and then he'll mess it up, and they'll be like, all right, get the DevOps guy to do it. But no one knows what the DevOps guy does. He just like fixes something when it breaks and then AFKs and collects his paycheck. If you were 27, have no degree, certification, or skills, stuck making minimum wage to pay rent and bills, and have a hard time mixing school and schedule, what would you do? You got to pick a skill that you want to do, or just try stuff. Hi Josh, can you share your portfolio? I don't really have one. How much is rent where you are? I have my own house, but my house costs the same as rent, so that's why I have a house, right? Or otherwise you're just paying someone else's mortgage off. So I bought my own house, and my mortgage, just my mortgage, right? No utilities, no internet, no phone, no heating and air conditioning, no sewer, no water, no gas, no electricity, right? Just my mortgage, $1,600 a month. So YouTube doesn't even pay for that because you have to take taxes from that money. So after tax YouTube money is like $1,100. How old are you? 28. I guess everyone thinks YouTubers are rich. That's not how it works. How do you split your workouts? Push and pull day? Nah, Monday chest, Tuesday back, Wednesday shoulders, Thursday legs, Friday upper body, Saturday, Sunday cardios. Obviously I do cardio the other days. Some YouTubers make bank, you'll get there. So you get paid based on views, not necessarily subs. Subs doesn't mean anything. They don't even send notifications out. Book recommendations this year. This year? I mean, it's only 2019. Mark Manson's book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving. Well, there's always the chatter. Why are you quitting YouTube? I'm not. What do you think about hiring a virtual assistant to apply for jobs for me? Sounds like they're gonna miss out on the nuances of who you are. Live in NYC, $560 a month, no one at home. Yeah, so I've had roommates before. I lived in apartments before. Not doing that ever again. Hey bro, you killed it with the last video. Very good. Thanks, man. 12 Rules to Life. That came out in 2018 or 17, I think. Can I get a big internship with bootcamp and no CS bachelors? Yes. I would like you to advise me about planning during self-teach web development to achieve my goals more rapid. I don't know So you want me to tell you what to do. Learn HTML, CSS, JavaScript, then learn Python, maybe even PHP. Apply for jobs when you don't feel ready. Redux or GraphQL 2019? They're different. Should you charge family member for a site if you're just starting out and don't have a portfolio yet? Thanks. Yes, you should charge them. Oh, okay, all right. Are they going to make money off the site that you're making them? If they're going to make money off the site you're making them, yes, you should charge. If you're just making it just to make it, then yeah. React or GraphQL? Yeah, the correct answer is React and GraphQL. SQL, good? Yes. As HTML game dev, could you score a contract with a game? No, not probably not. Your advice on node-based CMS? I've never made one. Right, so figuring out that once I have HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, JavaScript, and maybe Python, React, you're going to start interviewing. Thoughts? Yeah, that works solid, but you need portfolios, so make sure you got at least 3 projects in there. Good projects. Do you charge a critique resume for cover letter? Yeah. Evelyn Miami, yes. I mean, it sounds silly to charge, right? But like it supports the channel, so it's so this is the Patreon perk, right? It's $35. We do your resume, we do your cover letter, and I send you my resume and cover letter. Can you talk about how you went from mechanical engineering to software? I kind of did in my last video, and then I have another video about what happened after Code Bootcamp. But basically, software engineering has a different kind of culture to it that I vibed with more. Mechanical engineering is not what you know, it's who you blow. Gonna leave. What's your opinion on the book Rich Dad Poor Dad? Yes. So poor people work for money, and rich people make money work for them. It's true. Rich people own assets. Poor people spend their money. It's a good book. It's true. Should you learn Redux on your own or wait for a job? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. If the job application has Redux, it might help, but some jobs are using context now. Learning ES 6 through 8, will React be a good framework to learn? Yes. You're trying to get my music into games? Oh, awesome. Just got into Hack Reactor and advised me for tackling the program. This is what you do for getting into Hack Reactor. You press the abort button, and you take your money, and you go somewhere that has a guarantee. Should you build small projects with Vanilla.js, PHP, or learn Symfony, React, whatever, then make small projects? You should make a little bit of both. You should do one with Vanilla, and then you should do one, definitely not with Symfony. Don't use Symfony. Do Laravel. In a bootcamp, what's the best advice to succeed with all the info coming your way? I think the best advice is just to realize that everyone gets stuck at some point, and they probably question their life choices, and they're like, what am I doing with my lives? And then the next day, they're like, ah, I get it now. What do I think about Flutter? I think that's Google's like progressive web app type React native competitor, right? But I've never done it. Advice on learning how to get used to syntax fast? I mean, that probably just takes muscle memory, just typing it out. What's the best website or app to make a resume? You can use Google Drive. I used Google Drive to make mine. If you type Google Drive resume templates, you might find some decent ones. Favorite whiteboarding tips? I mean, don't be concerned about the correct answer. Be concerned about explaining your thought process. Opinion about the future of Java? A lot of people think it's doing well. Vue or React? React has more jobs. Vue is more beginner friendly. Rendering jobs with DirectX and C++ Outlook good. I have no idea. That sounds like some special effects level stuff. Maybe try Industrial Light and Magic. I've heard that is a special effects company looking for that type of rendering. His last video was epic. Hey, thanks, man. Anyone tried to steal his dog this year? Chicken or beef? Why not both? Did I miss any other questions here? You just got a job where you're going to get to work with brands like Porsche and Maserati. Your videos really helped me push through the interview application process. Thanks so much, Clay Jackson. You put in the work. You did the interview. Glad I could help you get a little motivated that way. Are you studying some new programming language or framework? No, I'm more concerned about growing the channel, the brand. I teach code, so that's enough code for me on the daily. Joshua, you have 2 numbers in the UK and USA. What? I mean, they're from Zoom, so one is USA and one is UK and one is Canada. They're not from me. They're like not my phone number. Favorite band or artist? What music do you listen? I like trap music. I like rock music. I like metal. I like techno. Anything but country music. I'm going to pass on the country music because I grew up in Georgia. If you guys have never been to Georgia, you've never been down south, this is kind of where they talk. And you got a lot of people wearing camouflage or big trucks, big Ford F-150s on their big old tires. Like, I don't talk like that because I specifically don't want to sound that way. So no country music, please. We're gonna go down our dirt trail tonight with my baby girl, and we're gonna have some Budweisers, and we're gonna lay down in the back of a truck with my white tank top on, and we're in a moonlit walk. I can't. I just can't. You guys ever seen The Office? Where Michael Scott's like, I do declare. Looking swollen thumbnail. Thanks, man. About to go to the gym after this. Over yonder. Down yonder. We're going to walk down yonder over here. You live alone. I have 2 dogs and girlfriend lives here. We work with a bunch of people on the Weather Channel team down in Atlanta. They all talk like that, Josh. Yeah, my whole family talks like this. When I was down in Georgia visiting them, they were like, "Oh, we're just so glad to have you. We are so blessed. Bless your heart." That's what like, that's just Georgia for you. What are you doing in your free time? Like weekends? Free time. What is that? I make videos. I play with my dogs. Seriously, I just play with my dogs. Like a little kid, just wrestle them and, I don't know, take them for walks, go run. Is it okay to use Google and Stack Overflow at work? Yes, everyone does that. And if they say they don't, they're lying. Do you have a discount code for your resume on Gumroad? It's already discounted. Did I miss anything? We're gonna wrap it up here soon. What do you recommend I take in Python? What? Web development versus data science versus machine learning. That depends on what you want to do. Do you like math? Because if you do, machine learning's waiting for you. Hello, Josh and everyone. Diego, what's up? Wrap it up. Companies are literally throwing money at what? Data science and machine learning? Yeah. They're definitely a niche right now, so they're getting paid a lot. What do you think of taking notes while taking a course on Udemy? I take notes when I listen to audiobooks. I use Evernote on my phone, and I'll just swap back and forth between, like, whatever, usually it's music or whatever, and I'll just take notes on my phone. Got a sysadmin job after 9 months of help desk. Yeah, dude. Solitas, congratulations. Best advice to start own brand. Just to start, figure out something that you know that would help other people, and then share it for free. I know no one wants to do that, right? Oh, if you're good at something, you got to sell it. No. You do it for free, and then slowly over time, maybe you can think of something extra or bonus that you could charge for, and if they want, they'll pay for it, I guess. I don't know. Thank you. Another great live. Big Chungus. Thanks, man. Listen to audiobooks so many times you can't forget it. How long have you been an engineer? I don't know. 3 years? 4 years? 4 years? Take a job with more money or take a job with more responsibility? Depends on what you want. More responsibility sounds like you should be credited for more money. Otherwise, you're just taking on more responsibility. Why? To prove yourself to somebody? Alan, come on. Oh, your name is... That's not Alan. Games that you play? I was playing Ring of Elysium, PUBG on my phone, sometimes Overwatch. Hey Josh, just accepted a job with the DoD for the Navy doing web dev. Do you think the benefits, flex schedule, and slightly lower pay is worth it over going private? I worked for a government contractor, not the government directly. DoD is going to be all right for the benefits. It might look good on a resume. You'll have security, that's for sure. How much of the command line should a junior dev know? I mean, not too much. I mean, you should know basic Linux stuff. You should know the Git stuff. You should know how to navigate the folder file structures and things like that. You should know how to set up, basic Unix stuff, where your Apache folders are, where your www folders are, your root folders. Josh, which resources do you recommend for full stack web development, and what capacity? Yeah, boot camp, or do you want something else? Captain Katz, hola Joshua, hola Captain Katz. Take a lot of notes from Udemy? Yeah, dude. Hey, Josh, you're the best. Hey, thanks, man. Appreciate that. All right, guys. I hope you guys have an awesome Friday. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'm going to start... Is it leg day today? It's shoulders. Shoulders. My workout schedule is slightly offset, so it's Monday to Friday in my head, but it's actually not Monday to Friday in real life. Can you laugh once? I don't know. Brian, good to have you. I'll shout out some people. Dan, Xavier, Alberto, Captain Katz, Leslie, if you're still here again, thank you. Thank you all for the donos. I appreciate all of you. Looking forward to get to that 50K so I can get that join button if they give it to me. They told me you're eligible for the join button now, but we're not going to give it to you because it hasn't been rolled out on your channel and we don't know when that's going to happen. So perfect. Appreciate the donos. Life with Joshua. Life with Lewis. Thanks. Spec, thanks. Have a good night. Brody, you too. Chungus. Wolfie, Andrew. I don't know how many people are here. I appreciate all you guys. Josh, React versus Vue. React has more jobs. You is beginner friendly. Yeah. Xavier. How do you turn internship into a salary job? Do good work. AC the King, you're awesome. You're awesome, man. B, you're awesome. AC the King. Christopher. Skylar. Reneon. Kurz. Mazika. Alright. I'm out, dudes and dudettes and everyone else. I'll see you guys tomorrow.